your best requires commitment. We share that dedication to excellence. Introducing new Titleist 917 medals, the standard for complete performance.
First of all, I must say it's great to have you back.
Thank you.
I wasn't sure that you were going to come back again. We almost feel like you're a hometown boy.
I don't know why you think so. No, we love our time here. It's we have a great week. Just absolutely beautiful place coming over to Sydney, and change of pace now, coming to a different golf course, but that's a whole new fun challenge for us. But really happy to be back over in Oz, and just obviously shows that I meant what I said about how much we like coming here to continue to do so. So look forward to a great week.
And you arrived on Sunday. Was that for practice or a bit of sightseeing as well?
Arrived on Sunday early morning just to make sure we're adjusted, but also, yeah, I mean, I'm taking an extra couple days of coming out kind of the first half of the day and then going back and doing other things, really enjoying the whole experience, not leaving till Tuesday afternoon. So yeah, a bit of both, just to make sure we're here adjusted and I can come out and actually get work in, but at the same time, you know, leave enough time in the afternoons to explore Sydney.
For many golfers, 2 wins in 1 year, they would say nice year. For you?
Yeah, it was a good year. I thought it was a good year. We actually had 3. You know, the Ryder Cup was definitely a win for us. Yeah, really good season. I thought the second half of the year, you know, I was a little disappointed with my performance. But all in all, you know, that happens. You go on rises and dips, and it's about figuring out, you know, how to get back on the rise. And I feel like these past 6 weeks or so, I've had some tremendous time off, been able to feel like I'm completely rested, get to do some things in the swing I've been trying to work on for a year now, and just it's tough to do throughout an actual tournament week in the middle of a season, as well as putting in time in the gym. So kind of accomplished all the goals I wanted to in the off season, and now it's about gaining momentum like we did 2 years ago for these next 2 events here and then Tiger's event. So very important week for us. We're certainly not taking it lightly. We're trying to prepare to be in contention.
It was a springboard for you a couple of years ago, and you're looking for the same result this week.
Yeah, definitely. The last 2 years, I mean, last year was a really fun battle with Matt Jones, and I had a putt for eagle on the last hole that was a shame. It just didn't even have a chance to go in, and I was a bit bummed at that, at the way it finished last year. But it was just a fun battle with a good friend, Matt, and really cool to see him win, you know, his home open. So yeah, I mean, good memories here at this tournament. Certainly a strong field this year and a great pairing. I'm pretty excited about that, and you know, hopefully tame the winds here and these tiny greens, and try and see if that ball striking can hold in what's a very difficult course to strike the ball extremely well.
Questions, please. Rod.
Jordan, you took a bit of heat for your scheduling towards the back end of last year in particular, and I think you spoke about it during the year. It's been a totally different preparation this time. I think 6 weeks since you've played. How are you feeling about that, and how long does it take to get used to what scheduling works for you? All players are different, aren't they?
You know, it's interesting because, you know, I want to be able to go out and do what I love to do and see different parts of the world. At the same time, yeah, I mean, it's still early. It was 4 years ago. I was still in school. So trying to find a balance of getting to do and take advantage of these opportunities while feeling like I can play my best golf around the major championships and feel like we can. I mean, I still felt like we were ready to go and rested when we played the majors this year. So no excuses there. But it's really nice to have a 6-week off season. Last year I had 2.5 weeks, a couple different times, and that's it. This time I was able to actually hang the clubs up for a few weeks and just, you know, get away from the game for a little, try and get mind and body kind of feeling like I actually have a place that I live at home, you know, same bed for more than 6 nights in a row, which was really nice to have, and that's what we had 2 years ago. In 2014, I had about a 6-week off season. I played China and played here in Tiger's event. This year we didn't go back to China. It was just I just really wanted 6 weeks, and because of the way the scheduling worked, China would have split that again into 2.5 and 2.5. So wanted to come back here. This tournament's very important. It was a springboard 2 years ago, and yeah, I mean, I feel very rested because of that 6 weeks.
Nicole?
Jordan, it seemed like when you struggled a bit sort of from mid-year, it was around the time you made the decision about the Olympics. Did that kind of wear on you a little bit at that point? And
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think so. It was a very difficult decision, and it was tough. Just any round you played, that's the only questions you get afterwards is why aren't you going to represent your country, considering that's very important to me. But I had to make that tough decision at a time when I wasn't fully comfortable going. So you would have liked to have just played golf and just block out the noise completely, but unfortunately that's just not the world I live in. So it was that part was frustrating. It had nothing to do with my golf, but that's also part of it. So I feel renewed. I feel, mentally in a great place right now, going into the end of this year, into next year, off of what was a really good year on the golf course, but one that I would have liked to have seen out of the last 3 majors, another chance to win one after the Masters. So that's kind of the focus is, how can we create kind of this scenario that went into 2015 right now, and then how do we approach 2017 with a clear mind and learn from the mistakes of last year and the mistakes of 15 and 14 and going back and just trying to improve my game on and off the course.
Bruce?
Jordan, you've shown a real capacity to play well internationally, whether it be in Europe or in Japan or down here. Do you think part of that success is because of your preparedness to enjoy the culture of a city when you're in it and just relax away from the golf course? Certainly.
I think if you go over resenting having to go somewhere, yeah, that's going to certainly lead, and there's no way for you to be successful. I don't embrace it because of trying to make that an advantage for golf. I think it's really cool to be in an opportunity to be 23 years old and travel around the world playing golf, and people want you to come play golf around the world so they can see it. I mean, that's a unique position to be in, and I enjoy that those opportunities are there, because in our time off the golf course, I mean, it's totally different from what you see at home, and why not, if you have the opportunity when you're young to go travel around the world and experience these cultures, and that kind of shapes you as a person too, recognizing in your little bubble at home, that's not the way the world is, and you can kind of see, put things in perspective a little bit on where I live versus where other people live, their cultures, their religion, their politics, whatever it may be. I mean, it's just a really cool position to be in, and because of I've really enjoyed that. I think that you're certainly happy arriving to a golf course. You're happy when you leave it. You got something else fun to go do. It just makes for a really fun trip every single time. So certainly that's going to help golf.
Jordan, are you able to quantify what that final round 63 meant 2 years ago to win? And obviously you talk about how much of a springboard it was for the next year, but how you felt when you left the course and flying back home with the trophy?
Yeah, it was one of the best rounds I've ever played. It was very windy. I remember playing number 1 and hitting 2 pretty good shots and having a little long 2-putt for birdie. I mean, I had 2-putted for par, had a long putt for birdie, and heard a roar from, I think, Adam making birdie on the hole in front. And I just remember that not bothering me as much as it bothered me when I was in contention and the contenders were making birdies, feeling that extra pressure. I just didn't feel it that day, and just said, let this course come to you. You don't have to make a bunch of birdies on a day like today, and certainly ended up making a bunch of them because we just laid back, hit the right shots into the right places, and then made a few putts. It was a really great feeling. I remember having the trophy in, on this stage after the round. What an incredible trophy it is. It's I see it every day when I walk into my house. it was a tremendous honor, and 63 being even more significant. Can you remind me of his name? The cricketer who was on 63.
Phil
Phil Hughes. Yeah.
Phil Hughes.
So I know that kind of ironic, I guess, that day, because I think it was the week after. So there was some significance there too. So springboard, I went in and played, I think, the best golf I've ever played for a 4-day stretch the next week at Tiger's event and in Orlando. We were on point that week. I would played better golf there than I would say even at Hyundai this past year. And it was because of that final round did a lot for me. So learned how to really close a tournament, and then we went into 15 and did that a few times. So it was big, and anytime you can close a tournament like that, it's not like it's just given at this point too. I mean, I could use another experience like that in order to gather kind of how we felt, how we produced, and take those visuals into the next week.
Next.
Jordan, the Dallas Cowboys are having quite the season. Do they stick with Dak Prescott or go back to your buddy Tony Romo?
It's incredible what they're doing. I think they actually just recently named that Dak was going to stay the starter. I think Jerry Jones named that. It's awesome to have two fantastic quarterbacks on a team when we were kind of really struggling last year with Tony out. Fun to watch. I hope I get back and go to a couple games. I mean, it looks like they're going to make it into February, so to the Super Bowl. I've been quieter on social media this year about it. I've been kind of just like, let's let them just do their thing, and come Super Bowl time, if they go through the process and make it there, then we can go nuts. Because there's a lot of guys, most people aren't Cowboys fans, and I realized I'll just keep to myself. But great problem to have, but really just so much fun. I mean, it's a great when the Cowboys are playing well. I mean, the city of Dallas is just rocking. It's just a different vibe. Texas is just a huge football state, so it's a lot of fun at home now. Hopefully, get to a couple games.
Martin.
Jordan, I think I read during the year that you were working on trying to hit the ball further. I was just wondering whether that was accurate, and if so, is it kind of just part of your quest for improvement, or does it relate to the fact that all the guys in the top echelon, Bubba, Rory, Dustin, Jason, are massive hitters? Is that a factor for you?
I'm not searching for distance right now. It's as I go through this process of what I'm working on in my swing right this second, which it's not there yet because I've only started it a couple weeks ago. But I think by the new year it will be there. That combination with the rest and the work in the gym, I think it'll just come naturally. I'm not trying to do anything to gain distance because if I end up 5 yards longer, which we've kind of been 5 yards longer each year the past few years, if that continues this year, I mean, I don't need to hit the ball any further. Certainly, if I can hit it further and keep it as consistent then that would be ideal. But it's a dangerous game going out searching for distance. And I'm not looking to play that game because I don't think I need to. I hit the ball well further than average on tour. There's a few guys at the top that hit the ball further than I do, for sure. But you can certainly make up for it in other parts of the game where naturally I just don't hit it quite as far as a couple of those guys. So I'm not searching for it, but I think that it will come like it has in the last few years by the new year. I don't think we'll see it this week and next week. In my work with Cameron at home, I've seen speeds go up a mile an hour or two off of this rest, but I'm thinking so much about stuff that I'm doing that that's going to prevent freed up, aggressive swings. So I'm trying to, but most likely it won't happen until the new year.
Jordan, with the new swing and obviously 6 weeks off, you're kind of in your pre-season, but you're also extremely competitive, and you talked about that eagle putt last year. I mean, you're not here for a holiday, are you? You want to win this thing.
Sure. Yeah, it's not big. It's really. I want to clarify. It's not a new swing whatsoever. It's just progress through the backswing that. I'm even working on the same things I was doing the second half of 2015, which was I was even working on it those weeks, and those were my best ball striking weeks, the second half of 15, which was after the Masters and U.S. Open. I hit the ball much better the second half of the year. And it's just stuff that I just haven't had the rest to then come back and be like, okay, let's overdo it a little bit so that it finds that happy medium, and that's what's now the new normal. But when I'm swinging well, I am, even throughout this past year, I was getting it to where I wanted to get it to. But yeah, I mean, this week, you know, although I'm still obviously thinking about what I'm trying to do, that's great. I mean, it would be very difficult for me to play golf having no swing thoughts. Some people may like that. I couldn't do that. I have to have a trigger, and I feel like it's in a good place. I mean, I've played 18 holes now the last 2 days and struck the ball nicely out there, and so I think I got to work on my short game more than anything to be ready for this week.
Next.
Jordan, you're playing with Jeff Ogilvy and Curtis Luck, the amateur. He was the tournament director was saying he was very keen to play with you. Do you know much about Curtis's game?
No, other than the fantastic finish at the U.S. Amateur, clutch finish. I don't know much about his game. I know that Australian amateur golf is as good as ever right now. You're seeing these guys, even the guys that have just turned pro, come over and make a home pretty quickly and become very comfortable, whether it's in the States or wherever. But and then the amateur golf right now that's being played is at a different level. So it'll be really exciting. I'm very happy with the pairing. It's going to be cool. You know, I guess he's got a trip to Augusta coming up, which will be a lot of fun, and I'm sure we'll chat a bit about that. And then Jeff coming off a really good performance in Las Vegas and coming around, playing really well. It should be fun. I think we played with Jeff last year. Is that right, Michael? Yeah. Michael's my he's my moderator here. He's making sure. Yeah. He's my mental coach now too. So. But yeah, it's going to be a fun week, a fun couple days in that pairing. I think we're early, late, so going to be a hot Friday. But we might get under the wind on Thursday, so we could have a good draw too, which would be pretty fun if we all can feed off each other.
Justin.
Jordan, you obviously dominated 15 at a historic level. What do you take from this year when maybe that was impossible to replicate? Maybe disappointment this year for the first time, maybe not playing at the highest level you've played at. How have you dealt with all that?
You know, I think 2014 was similar to 16. It's funny, then everyone told me it was a great year, but 2016 was much better than 2014, and I feel like it's not. You know, no, you know, 2015, you have to have the right breaks at the right time while getting yourself in the right position. So it takes the skill, but it also takes, you know, a bit of fortune to close out tournaments, you know, that often and in the way we did. So got myself into position early on this year. I mean, Hawaii was a better performance than any of the ones in 15. And then, you know, the Masters, I got myself in position there, a couple swings away from another major. And then where else? Colonial winning the way we did there was a lot of fun too. So it was just the second half of the year that I would say, you know, I maybe tried just a bit too hard, didn't let it come to me, was getting a little frustrated with the lack of first place finishes, I guess, even though, you know, if you win 5 times a year for the amount of time I expect to be on tour, I'll have more than Tiger. So that's unrealistic. And so when you think about that throughout the off season, you kind of sit back and say, all right, let's set goals for next season. It's more about improving as a player, fine-tuning the 60 to 150 or so yards, which I needed to really improve on off of this past year, really scoring distances that you have a lot of times throughout the year. So, but 2016 will go down as a really good, solid year. Again, if we win 2 times for the next 20 years, that's Phil Mickelson territory. So, and people think he's a pretty good golfer. He'll go down in history as a pretty good golfer. So, when I look at things in a long-term view instead of just comparing to 15, that's when I'm really positive about the year and really positive going forward. And that's most important for me to do right now.
Evan.
Jordan, you've obviously tried to gain as much course knowledge as you possibly can in the last few days. Are you expecting that scoring is going to be as difficult as what it has been at the Australian in the last couple of years? And what might be a winning score this week?
I am. I'm expecting it to be just based on looking at the forecast for wind and the lack of rain. Right now, that rain yesterday, it just has a little crisp sound when the wedges are hitting the greens. Like it's digging in a little bit, but pretty. I mean, it was almost perfect today, but for an open, it's going to be firm. And these greens they're almost like hourglass-like on a lot of them. You have different sections and very narrow in between the two sections. So if they're firm, not only do you have to be in the right place in the fairway, but you have to work the ball the right way into the green in order to hold it onto the right tier. Hitting the fairways is probably the hardest part out here. That's the difference in here in the Australian is visually it just looks so much tighter. The Australian kind of had room if you wanted to start the ball way out with wind. Here you've really got to almost hold the wind more. I think it's going to be much more difficult to hit greens in regulation here, but if you get it onto the right tier, you're going to have a shorter length for birdie. So Poana greens in the wind can also play a factor. So winning score, if the breeze is up, I mean, I don't see it much past 12 under, something like that. It's hard to tell, I mean, because it's just all going to be on the conditions. If the wind's down, you can certainly score out here. There's three drivable par 4s and some reachable par 5s, so there's a lot of birdie opportunities just in 5 or 6 holes. So we'll just have to see what Mother Nature gives us.
Mark.
Jordan, you're a sports nut. Can you put your Sports Centre anchor hat on for me for a second?
Okay.
There's a guy called, you might have heard of him, 6'6", Stephen Spieth, a forward at Brown University, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. How's he go?
Yeah, so my brother had a fantastic game the other night. I texted him about it, and he texted me back saying he was upset his roommate missed a wide-open three-pointer, or else he would have had a triple-double, which is really special, especially in college basketball. So, yeah, cool to see what he's doing. Obviously, I'm his biggest fan. Actually, my sister's probably his biggest fan. I'm second biggest. But I'm going to get up and see at least one game, if not a couple, throughout this season. So I'm excited to see his senior year.
So some of the cheeky golf reporters there saying that you're no longer the best Spieth from inside 15 feet now.
Yeah. Yeah. At least I'm better from outside 15 feet. No, he's it's really cool. It's cool to see. He works hard and has really loved it, and he's taken a leadership role this year on the team as a senior. And he's at a very difficult school too, and doing well in school. So really proud of him. It's awesome.
Last question, down, please.
Jordan, Jeff Ogilvy was in here earlier and he said that he wouldn't be surprised if one of these young gun amateurs actually won this weekend. Would you agree with that, or is it a bridge too far?
100%. Yeah, I mean, they've already won professional events within the past year, right? A couple of them have, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the Western Aussie Open and, yeah, I mean, what's that?
Queensland Open.
Queensland Open, yeah. So I don't see there being a difference in them being able to come in here and do the same. So putting in with the caliber of amateur golf in Australia, you put an A next to their name, all that means is they're not going to get paid. It doesn't mean there's going to be a difference in performance this week whatsoever. And as professionals, we're not thinking of it that way. If we're in contention and Curtis is in contention, I'm not going to think that this is a walk in the park. Instead, I'm going to think, he's going to play very fearless, and it actually could be more difficult. So there's a lot of fantastic players in this event this week, and this golf course, again, is going to be a big-time challenge with the wind being up. We've got to go out there and really give respect to the golf course and then try and take advantage of those easier holes because it's anybody's game for sure.